What's up, guys? Vongala Lightning here, bringing you a long-awaited deck profile for Royal Paladin. So, G-Set 1 just came out last week, bringing us Sword Mai, which allows us to kind of create a whole new deck and bringing us Strides. So, let's just get right into it. I'll start with the simple stuff. For Margles, you just want to make sure that if your starter gets retired, you're able to Sing Saver anyway. 12 Jewel Knight triggers, 8 crits, 4 heals, kind of standard. You know, you want the Jewel Knight triggers to be able to call cards with Sword Mai. And, you know, 8 crits is kind of standard. It's what you want to be able to consistently deal the amount of damage that you want to your opponent. For starters, I have both File and Tiffany here because I'm testing both of them. File is good because he's a 1-for-1 trade, so you trade one card and you get another one out of it, which is pretty much what you want out of a starter. You definitely always want to be able to get one card out of it, but at the same time, Tiffany, I've been testing her, and she actually hasn't been bad. She allows you to hit some good numbers when you only have like a Sword Mai in one column, and she also is able to make 21k columns certain times as well. So, you know, right now, File is my starter, but Tiffany is also under consideration there. So if you guys want to test or whatever, I think they're both valid choices. Moving on to the grade 1s, I have 3 Shelly. She's the 10k attacker for Jewel Knights, and 3 Prismai. Honestly, she's probably not going to be a 10k attacker most of the time, so she's just there to be able to call a booster. Prisma does get his effect off more often than Shelly will, and it's just nice to be able to kind of siphon a card in the middle of the game and swap out and try to get to, you know, whatever you need. So the situations where it does come in handy isn't always consistent, but I like it because it always gives you that option. We have 4 Sisylis, this is our Stride Enabler, and also our Ultimil Searcher. So if you start off the game with an Ultimil in hand, you can drop one and just thin deck, or late game, and that +2 Stride is pretty much super important because you only have so many grade 3s. Moving on, we have 4 Jewel Knight Perfect Guards. 2 reasons that we're not using the Unflipping Perfect Guard, the new one. One is that we want to be able to guard for our rear guards when the cross attacks them, just in case you don't have enough 10Ks. And also because it's a Jewel Knight, so it helps our consistency with Sword Mai. Moving on to the grade 2s, I have 1 Tracy. I had 2, but just like Shelly, it's really hard to actually get her effect off, so I reduced her to 1 just to kind of have another Jewel Knight in there, again for Sword Mai. Moving on, we have 2 Twin Sword. Great card. It's just pretty much amazing. We have so many good grade 2s in this deck that you want to call, so being able to have access to them at any point in the game after you start striding is just amazing. I have 2 Knight of Fragments. This is a new addition to the deck. It's just when we're calling stuff with Knight of Twin Sword and Gablade, it's good to have an 11k that can actually hit instead of having a field full of 9ks, because even if you're getting the extra attacks off, if you're not actually able to hit your opponent's Vanguard, it doesn't really matter. And the Soul Charging and the Unflipping helps because we have a lot of damage in this deck, and the Soul Charging helps for Sing Saver, just in case things go, even worse than planned. Moving up, we have 3 Blaster Blades. I had 4. I just don't think we need 4 Blaster Blades anymore because Legioning on turn 3 or as soon as possible isn't as important as it used to be because we have the Stride to make up for those turns. So having 3 Blaster Blade, just because it's much harder to run out of Blaster Blades to Legion than it was before. And lastly, we have pretty much the most important card that we got this set, and probably one of the main reasons this deck is so powerful, which is Sword Mai. Sword Mai, for those of you who don't know, when he's placed on Rearguard Circle, you can counterblast a Jewel Knight and summon a Jewel Knight grade 1 or lower card from your deck. So this just allows us to apply pressure early, late. It gives us free rear guards. The cost is very low. It's just really, really efficient. Seekers are kind of missing that mid-game pressure, mid and early game pressure, and Sword Mai gives us that, at the same time giving us a way to easily call rear guards at any point. So Sword Mai is just like really essential. It's really great for the deck. Moving up to the grade 3s, we have 4 Thing Saver. It's our best grade 3. just applies massive pressure. Like, all of our cards that we have on Vanguard Circle apply pressure, which is what we really like out of, what I really like out of Royal Paladins now, that they didn't always have. I have 2 Altamil. This card really grew on me. The Generation Break 2 really comes in handy when they're at 5 and you're just pushing them in with these great columns. You can make 21k columns real easily. And his on-stride effect is actually really good for applying pressure as well, because, again, you have so many cards in the Vanguard Circle that they want to block. They want to block a Blade because they don't want you to get the Grade 2. They want to block Saint Blow because he's got the crit. Then Thinksaver restands, Altamil has the extra 5, and Alfred is able to get a crit. So we just have so much pressure here in the Grade 3 and higher that, you know, it just creates situations where your opponent wants to block everything, but they have to let something go through. And one Alfred is honestly just personal preference. Alfred was always my favorite card, and I just had to run one. And then last but not least, we have the Strides. Pretty standard for Saint Blow. It's just amazing. Like I said when I was talking about Altamil, it's just all pressure. They don't want to guard it, but it gets huge when you have a full field. 3 Blade, he's just amazing. The Grade 2s that you can call Twin Sword, and then go into, if you have a booster on the side, you can call Twin Sword, and then Twin Sword goes into Sword Mine, and then Sword Mine calls a Grade 1. So you pretty much fill up your field just on Blade alone. And then you also have Knight of Fragment that you can call in case you want an extra attack. It's just a nice little toolbox feel that Blade gives us, that when he hits, we just have access to so many options. And 1 Atmos just for those times where your opponent's at maybe 5 or 4 damage and they're on low hand and maybe they've used up a few perfect guards, so just activate that effect, hit them for high damage, and they can't guard it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Comment, subscribe, like, anything else you can think of. Thanks, guys.